Hello everyone, I am Mrs. Archana Pradishni, Assistant Professor in the Department of IISc, Canberra Engineering College. In this video presentation, I will be telling some concepts related to partial order which comes under Module 3. Okay, some concepts about what is partial order and how do we represent this partial order, etc. So, by the definition of partial order, a relation R on the set A is said to be a partial ordering relation, or it is said to be a partial order on A if R is reflexive, if the relation R is antisymmetric, and if the relation R is transitive on A. So, if all these three properties are satisfied, that is reflexive property, antisymmetric property as well as transitive property, only then we can say that particular relation R on set A is said to be a partial order or nothing but called as a poset. We say partial order as a poset, and it is denoted by a pair A, R, where A is the set and R is the relation on that particular set. Okay, so let us take examples. We can have the relation is greater than or equal to. It is also a partial order on Z. Okay, the relation greater than or equal to is also partial order on Z. And if we take the divisibility relation, that is on Z plus, if you take the divisibility relation, that is A divides B. Okay, A divides B. Okay, on the set of integers. So it is also a partial order. So I'll explain all these things with the problems which we'll discuss later. So we can take the relation greater than equal to, or even the relation that is divisibility relation, as also a partial order. So next, coming to the second concept, that is total order. So we look into all the problems related to all these concepts, then it will be clear to you. So when do you say the relation R is a total order? So what we consider is, let R be a partial order on set A. Okay, first R should be a partial order on set A, and then we can say that R is a total order, or R is called as a total order on set A if for all x, y belongs to A, then either x related to y or y related to x. Okay, so we say relation R is a total order if first of all it should be a partial order, and then it can be a total order on any particular set A if for each and every element x and y which belongs to the set A, then in some way or the other x must be related to y for each and every element, or y must be related to x. Then we call the poset. Okay, poset of A, R. This is the denotion, right? So we call the poset of A, R as a totally ordered set. Okay, then we can call it as a totally ordered set. So let's take some example. Divisibility relation on set A. Let us consider these elements. Okay, divisible, that is one is divisible by one. Divisibility relation means if you take two elements, the first element should divide the second element. That is, for each and every element it should work. 1 divides 1, correct? 1 divides 2, 2 divides 4, 4 divides 8, correct? So each and every element is divisible. Either x must be related to y, that is either x must divide y, or if that is not possible, y must divide x, that is y must be related to x in this particular division, in this particular relationship. So we find that when we start dividing x by y, okay, so each and every element is divisible, right? So we can say this is the relation of divisibility over this set is a totally ordered set. It's a totally ordered set. So now if we take another example, let me change the set elements. So if I take 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. So you check whether it is divisible, each and every element. 1 divides 2, right? 2 divides 4. Does 4 divide 6? No. Right? So therefore, it must be related, that is x must be related to y by this relation, that is each and every element must divide some other element, say y. So therefore the relation R over this set is not a totally ordered set. Okay, it is not a totally ordered set. So next we will see the concept of Hayes diagrams. Okay, this concept is very important, the concept of Hayes diagrams. So this is different from diagraphs. We have seen diagraphs in the previous presentation, right? You must have seen diagraphs. And how do we represent diagraphs? I have already mentioned. So just a variation of this diagram is Hayes diagram. So when do we use this Hayes diagram is basically to represent a partial order on the relation. Okay, so we think of a diagram of a partial order in terms of the set that is finite. So whenever the relation is reflexive, so basically we are doing this to represent a partial order or a poset, right? And you have got three properties within this poset, right? It should be reflexive, it should be antisymmetric, it should be transitive, right? In case of reflex, you find that each and every node is related to itself. So when you are drawing a diagram, you represent like this. But here when you are writing a Hayes diagram, you just represent it by dot. Okay, and you assume that this property holds. So you are not representing any loop in a Hayes diagram or a reflexive relation. Next, coming to antisymmetric property. Okay, in the antisymmetric property, what you do is A must be related to B, right, and B must be related to A, and then we can say that A is equal to B. Correct? So if I have 1, 2 and 2, 1 together in a relation, so I just represent like this. See, let me represent two vertices first. So this is the basic line. This means that 1 is related to 2 and 2 is related to 1. Okay, so this we are representing in our Hayes diagram. So whenever a partial order is reflexive, at every vertex there would be a cycle of length 1. But while drawing the diagram, we need not exhibit these cycles. This is automatically understood. And if there is an edge from vertex A to vertex B and there is an edge from vertex B to vertex C, okay, let us say like this. Okay, so then there should be an edge from vertex A to C, right? But we do not represent this edge. It is automatically understood. That is, this transitive property is implicit. It is understood. So if there is an edge from A to B and from B to C, that means there is an edge from A to C, and we are not drawing this in our Hayes diagram. Okay. So and we are not representing any arrows. It is implicit. So we are assuming that the diagram of partial order, they are represented by dots or bullets, and we draw the diagram in such a way that all the edges will be pointing upwards. Okay, in that way we assume. We did not put any arrows in the edges. So this diagram of a partial order, okay, this diagram of a partial order drawn by adopting those conventions. So you have to mention all these rules and then say this last sentence. So the diagram of partial order drawn by adopting these conventions, okay, is called a poset diagram. Okay, is called a poset diagram or Hayes diagram. Or a Hayes diagram. So let's take an example to illustrate the same. Let's say you have been given a question where A is set 1, 2, 3, 4 are the elements, and the relation R is given to be 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 4, 1, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, 1, 4 and 4, 4. So these are the ordered pairs in the relation. So you have been asked to verify that, okay, you have been asked to verify that the relation R is a partial order. Relation R is a partial order on set A. And you are supposed to write the Hayes diagram. First of all, we need to prove that R is a partial order on set A, and then we need to draw the Hayes diagram. So in order to prove that R is a partial order on set A, we need to verify the three properties. So which is the first property? The first property is regarding reflexive. When you observe the set, so each and every element must be related to itself. That is, 1 is related to 1, 2 is related to 2, 3 is related to 3, and again 4 is related to 4. All the elements are related to itself. Therefore, we can say that, you write it in a sentence, we find that A, A belongs to R for every A in the set. Okay. So therefore we can say that R is reflexive. So the next property that we need to prove that is antisymmetric property. That is, if we have A, B pairs and B, A pairs, then A equal to B. So this is the antisymmetric property. Or if there is no such pairs, that is, if the relation R does not contains the pairs A, B and B, A, then A is not equal to P. So in this case, we say it is an antisymmetric relation. Just observe the relation. What do we have? Do we have A, B and B, A? Do we have 1, 2 and 2, 1? No. Only if we have, then we can only if we have both the pairs, then we need to check whether A is equal to P. But if we do not have the other pair, then it is clearly an antisymmetric relation. Okay, do we have 2, 4 and 4, 2? No. So 3, 4 and 4, 3? No. So we need not verify the antisymmetric property. It is clearly antisymmetric. In case if you have got both the pairs, you need to check whether A is equal to B. Clear? So since we do not have any of these pairs A, B and B, A in the relation, therefore the relation R is antisymmetric. Relation R is antisymmetric. So the last property that needs to be proved is the transitive property. Examine the relation. In the relation, what do you have? Check for the pairs, ordered pairs. You can observe that 1, 2, that is A, B belongs to R and B, C belongs to R. Therefore, A, C, that is 1, 4. See, when 1, 2 belongs to R and 2, 4 belongs to R, then 1, 4 is also there in the relation. Next, coming to 1, 3 and 3, 4. Yes, 1, 4 is there in the relation. Correct? So, when we examine each and every pair, we find that A, B belongs to R and B, C belongs to R, and therefore we have got A, C belongs to R. So this is the inference. Therefore, we can say that the relation R is transitive. Okay, since we have proved all the three properties, therefore we can conclude that R is a partial order on set A. We have proved reflexive property, antisymmetric and transitive. So these are three properties that is required in order to say that the relation R is a partial order on the set. So let's draw the Hayes diagram. Basically, we have got 4 points, that is, I will be representing the first point by vertex 1. I will be representing it in the upward fashion. So it should be represented in upward fashion. So observe the relation, that is the ordered pairs. How can we draw the Hayes diagram is? Just observe the pair. You have got 1, 1. So we need not have any loops as per the conventions in the Hayes diagram. Again, we not have loops in the self loops. Okay. So I can write vertex over here 3 and 4. So let's see how we can represent them. So 1, 2 is there in the relation and 2, 4 is there in the relation. So what do? Is I write directly 1, 2, I join the edge, and then 2, 4 I join the edge. Okay, then I need not represent 1, 4. It is implicit. I do not have to write this as an edge in the Hayes diagram. It is implicit as per the conventions. So next we have covered with these three pairs, right? Next is we have also covered 1, 1, 2, 2 and then 3, 3 and 4, 4. Remaining two pairs, that is 1, 3 and 3, 4. That is 1, 3 and 3, 4. right? So this is our Hayes diagram. So I hope this concept is clear to you. So coming to the next problem, which is quite similar. Let's see how this can be solved. Let R be a relation on the set A. So A is given to be it consists of these elements 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and it is defined by the relation. So let us consider this problem. Let R be a relation on set A defined by x related to y if and only if x divides y. Okay, prove that the poset that is A comma R is a poset, that is it should be a partial order. We need to prove, or we need to check whether it is a partial order, and draw the Hayes diagram. So first of all, let's verify it's a poset. Okay, so let's draw the relation R. That is important for us. The relation R is in the form of an ordered pair like x comma y, where x comma y should belong to the set A. Okay, set A, and what is the criteria? That is x divides y. See, that is the criteria. So let's check out this and check whether what are the elements that can perform this task. So x divides y. 1 divides 1, correct? 1 divides 2, 1 divides 3, then 1 divides 4, right? 2 divides 2, correct? 2 divides 4, I am including all of them. 3 divides 3 and 4 divides 4. All these elements will be there in the relation. So once you design this relation, next concept is to verify it's a poset. So first we check the reflexive property, that is we find that each and every element is related to itself in the set A. So we can say that R is reflexive. So we observe that A comma A belongs to R for all A in the set. Therefore R is reflexive. Next, coming to the antisymmetric property. So do we find A comma B and B comma A pair? No, we just have A comma B pair, we do not have B comma A. So directly we can say that it is an antisymmetric relation. Okay, we can directly say that it's an antisymmetric relation. We can write, so if A comma B belongs to R, but we do not have B comma A belongs to R, and A obviously is not equal to B. Therefore R is antisymmetric. Okay, therefore relation R is antisymmetric. Next, coming to the transitive property. So 1 comma 2 belongs to R, 2 comma 4 belongs to R, 1 comma 4 belongs to R, 1 comma 3 belongs to R. Okay, I think only these many pairs there we have to verify the transitive property. We need to have A comma B and then again B comma C, but that is not there for this particular element, therefore it is transitive. However, for one particular element we find that the transitive property can be proved. Therefore we can write, we have got A comma B belongs to R and B comma C belongs to R, and then A comma C belongs to R. Therefore A comma C belongs to R. It is what we infer. Therefore the relation R is transitive. And since we have proved all the three properties, the relation R is a poset, or it's a partial order on set A, or A comma R is a poset. So this is what we can conclude. So next, let's draw the Hayes diagram. Looking at these ordered pairs, let's draw the Hayes diagram. So there are 4 elements, and let's see how we can represent them. So first of all, let's write the 4 elements. So we have got 1, okay, I'll be representing 2 here and 3 in the other manner. We'll see how this can be represented. So there are pairs, there are edges. 1 comma 1 is a self loop, we do not write it. Even 2 comma 2, 3 comma 3 and 4 comma 4. So all these pairs are already covered here. Next is 1 to 2, 2 to 4. So we do not represent 1 to 4, right? So let's draw 1 to 2 and 2 to 4. See, like this. 1 to 2 and then 2 to 4. Next, what do you have? We have already covered these many pairs. 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 1 to 4, 2 to 2, 4 to 4 is already covered. Next we have to represent what? Just 1 to 3. Okay, we have covered all these pairs in our Hayes diagram. Just we have to represent 1 to 3. So 1 to 3. So this is the Hayes diagram for the given relation. So next, let's see another problem related to the concept of Hayes diagram. The question is to draw the Hayes diagram representing positive divisors. Okay, representing positive divisors of 36. So which are the divisors of 36? Let's denote it by D36. So 1 divides 36, right? So 36 is also divisor. Okay, then again 2 divides 36, where 18 can also be the divisor. Next, 3 divides 36, 12 can be the divisor, right? 3 12s are 36. Next, we can have 6 6 are 36, right? Then we can have 9 4s are 36. So 1 2 3 4 6 9 12 18 and 36. So these are the divisors. So now let's draw the Hayes diagram. For that we need the ordered pairs divisibility. So 1 is related to how many elements? We can write it. So as per the divisibility criteria, 1 is related to all the elements, right? So 1 can divide each and every element. So what about 2? 2 is related to how many elements? 2 is related to 4. See, 2 divides 4, right? 2 divides 6, 2 divides 12, 2 divides 18, 2 divides 36. So all these elements. 2 divides 2 also. Okay. So next, 3 is related to how many elements? 3 is related to 3 divides 3, 3 divides 6, 3 divides 9, 3 divides 12, 3 divides 18, 3 divides 36. Okay. 4 is related to how many elements? 4 divides 4, 4 divides 12, 4 divides 36. Next, 6 is related to how many elements? 6 is related to 6 divides 6, 6 divides 12, 6 divides 18 and 6 divides 36. Okay, 9 is related to how many elements? 9 is related to 9 divides 9, 9 divides 18 and 9 divides 36. Next, 12 is related to how many elements? 12 is related to 12 itself, 12 is related to 36. Next, 18 is related to how many elements? 18 is related to 18 and 36. Likewise, 36 is related to just 36. Okay. So first we are going to construct all these pairs or the relation, and then we can draw the Hayes diagram very easily. Let's draw the Hayes diagram. So we know that we have got element 1 and 1 is 1 divides 2. I can draw this connection or the edge. Okay, and again 1 divides 3. I take it as separate. You know that 3 divides 6, but 2 also divides 6. So I will just include a common point here. 2 divides 4 separately. Okay, I will include here. Okay, 2 divides 4. Then we have got which are all elements? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 12. I'll write here 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 12, 18 and 36. Okay, you look into these elements. So 3 divides 6 is done. 3 divides 9. Okay, I'll represent here. And 9 divides 18. Okay, I'll represent, even 6 divides 18. So I'll represent a common point like this. Okay. Next, next we have to see for 6. Okay, if I want to represent 12, 6 divides 12, 12 divides 36. So even 18 divides 36. So I'll include here 6 divides 12, 12 divides 36. The relation goes upwards, right? 12 divides 36. Even 18 divides 36 goes upwards, the relation. Okay, this means that 6 divides 36, 6 divides 12, 12 divides 36, 6 divides 36. You correct, right? So even 6 divides 18, 18 divides 36. Okay, this relation is right. So what about 4? 4 is 4 divides 12. Does it divide 36? Yes, so I can draw it like this way. So have we covered all the elements? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 12, 18 and 36. Yes, we have covered each and every element. Therefore, this is the Hayes diagram. So quite easily we can draw the Hayes diagram. So the next question is to prove that the set of all positive integers, okay, set of all positive integers is not totally ordered by the relation of divisibility. So you know what is total order. Okay, we need to take the set of all positive integers. We need to check whether it is a total order relation. Okay. So let's take for a set A. Okay. In order it to be totally ordered on by the partial order R. Okay. If you want to say consider a total ordered set. It should be a partial order first, and it should satisfy A related to B or B related to A. Okay, if you take any positive integer. So there are these many elements, right? Positive integers, 1 to starting from 1, 2, 3 and so on. We find that we need to check whether each and every element it is divisible. That is, we want to check whether 2 divides 3. Does it divide? No. Neither the vice versa. That is, 3 does not divide 2. So each and every element is not does not divide the others. So therefore, and it is not related by the relation. The relation is divisibility, and this does not serve. Therefore, we can say that the surplus, it is the set of all positive integers. Okay. Set of all positive integers is not a total ordered relation, is not a total order relation. So you have to mention the reason why. So whatever we take any two elements A comma B, if we take any two elements A comma B belongs to set A, okay, we are considered set A, which consists of all the positive integers. Okay. Now if the relation R is divisibility relation, the relation R is a divisibility relation, right? So we want to check whether A related to B or B related to A for each and every A comma B belongs to the set A, right? That is your total order concept. But when we verify individual elements, we find that 2 does not divide 3. Okay, relation is your divisibility relation. A divides B. Does each and every element divide the other next element? No. So it does not happen for some elements. Therefore, we can say that it is not a total order relation. So this is how you can write it in words. So let's see the next question. So we need to consider the partial order of divisibility on the set A, okay, and draw the Hayes diagram for the poset. So considering the question is consider the partial order on the set A. We consider the partial order on set A, and you have to draw the Hayes diagram. The partial order, the set A is given, that is, set A is 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 10, 15 and 30. The relation is which relation? Divisibility relation. So we need to write those pairs in the relation. So basically 1 divides 1, 2 divides 2, 3 divides 3, correct? Each of the elements divides themselves. 10 divides 10, right? And then you can say 15 divides 15, 30 divides 30. Then what about the other pairs? 2 divides 2, that's already done. 2 divides 6, correct? 2 divides, then what else? 2 divides 10, and you can say 2 divides 30. Again 3 divides 6, 3 divides 15, 3 divides 30. Clear? So next if we check 5 divides 10, 5 divides 15, and then 5 divides 30. What about 6? 6 divides 30, that's all. 10 divides 30, 15 divides 30, 30 divides, that is already written, right? Let's draw the Hayes diagram considering the divisibility relation. So first of all, so you can start with 1. So 1 I'll take 2, right? Divisibility. It's not only this one, 1 actually divides each and every element. I have to include here. 1 divides 3 and 1 divides by each and every element, right? 1 divides 6, 1 divides 10 and 1 divides 15. Okay, I have to include all those pairs 1, 30. Okay, 1 divides each and everything. So if I start with 1 divides 2 in the Hayes diagram, next 2 divides 6, right? 2 divides 6, so I can include it like this. Okay, then 1 divides 3, correct? 1 divides 3 and 1 divides 3 divides 6, is it not? 3 divides 6, 3 divides 15. Okay, 3 divides 15, but 6 does not. I'll take a separate loop. And what we can say is we have the element 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, right? 5, I'll take 5 over here so that I can connect them. 5 divides 15. And we can consider here, is it not 30? I'll take here 30 because 6 also divides 30, 15 also divides 30. And then what about the other element? We have got 10. So which is the element that divides 10? 5 divides 10, correct? Okay, 5 divides 10. 5 divides 10. Then what else? 10 divides 30. Okay, 10 divides 30. Then what else? Then does 2 divides 10? Yes, 2 divides 10, 2 divides 30. Okay, so we have included almost all the elements 1, 2, 3, 6, 5, 10, 15 and 20. So this is the basic Hayes diagram for the given relation. Okay, so next we'll see the somewhat different kind of problem wherein we'll cover how do you represent a relation matrix as well as a diagram, okay, given the Hayes diagram. So the question is, for A equals A, B, C, D and E, okay, so the Hayes diagram is given. Here the Hayes diagram for the poset A, R is given. So this is the Hayes diagram that they have shown, okay. B, and then you have got here C, okay, should be connected. Okay, so this is the Hayes diagram given. Now we can write the relationship, right? So in this question they have asked you to determine, okay, determine the relation matrix of for R, and also to construct the diagram for R. So you have to write the relation matrix and construct the diagram for this Hayes diagram. So first step is to draw the relation. So what does your relation consist of? This pair, that is A is related to A, the self loop, right? Then next B is also related to B. Before that I can complete this one. It is A is related to B, A is related to C. So I will include those pairs. A is also by transitive property, we can say that it is related to D. So A, D pair is also there. Next, what about E? Yes, A also is related to E. Okay, that is I can include A, E pair. Then when we start with D, B, okay, B is related to D. See, the edges are pointing out upwards, so I can say that this is the relation. It goes like this. Okay, so B is related to itself, B is related to D, and then B is related to E. Next, if we start with C, this is the relation. So C is related to C, C is related to D, and C is related to E. Okay, then if we go with the D, okay, this is only the relation. D is related to D and D is related to E, and finally E is related to E. So these are the pairs in the relation. So once we know this, let us construct the relation matrix. So it is represented by MR or M of R. So we write the relation matrix in this way, and I'll just name the rows and columns for my reference. So rows are in form of A, B, C, D, E, and columns are also A, B, C, D, E. So you know that A, A lies in the pair and it belongs to the relation. Therefore, you label the matrix of the relation as 1. Even A, B belongs to the relation. A, C also belongs to the relation. A, D and A, E. What about B, A? No. So you are marking them as 0. There is no pair B, A in the relation. So you are marking them as 0. So B, B lies in the relation. B, D lies in the relation. B, E lies in the relation. So next, when we check for C, C, A is not there. C, B is also not. C, C, D and C, E. Then comparing to D, okay, D, A pair is not there. D, B is not there. D, C is also not there. D, D is there, and D, E also lies in the matrix of the relation. Next, in the last row, we have just 1. So this is how we write the matrix of the relation or given the constructing the relation. Now this now the next sub question is to write the digraph given the Hayes diagram. So in the digraph, the change is we need to represent loops, we need to represent edges. Okay, whatever may be the edges, it may be bidirectional edges, you have to represent them. We need to represent the transitive property also, correct? So this is the change in the digraph. So you can write it very easily. Let's draw the digraph for this relation. So this is how you can draw the digraph. So let's represent the edges or the vertices by labeling A, B, C, D, E. Okay, I'll represent like this. So from A to A there is a relation, B to B there is a relation, E to E there is a relation, D to E, D, C to C. Then you can check the pairs. Okay, from A to A you have already done. So these things are done, right? A, B, B, C, C, D, D and E, is done, right? So next is we need to represent this edge, A, B. Okay, A, C and A, D and A, E. Let's draw all these things. Okay, so A, B, A, C, A, D and A, E. Okay, so after this we need to complete these pairs B, D, B, E. So let's draw this. So we have got B, D and B, E. Okay. Next, C, D and C, E. C, D and C, E. Okay. Next, the last pair that we have to construct is D, E. So this is how it looks. So this is your digraph basically. Okay, so there's a huge difference between Hayes diagram versus digraph. In Hayes diagram, just labeling them, if you just compare this with this digraph, you observe that there is no self loops and the edges are not labeled here. It is assumed that the relation goes upwards. Okay, it's like B to B, B to D, D to E. But here it is you need to represent any kind of edge by arrows. Even the bidirectional arrows must be represented here in the digraph. Whereas here you have to just represent it as an edge, and there is no circle for the vertices, just dots or bullets. But here you have to represent them by vertices or by the labels. So here reflexive and here in partial order, all the properties that serve the poset, that is reflexive, antisymmetric and transitive property, they are implicitly understood. That is, if A, B belongs to C, the relation B, C belongs to the relation, then this is implicitly understood. This edge, this is a transitive edge. Whereas here you need to represent each one of them. Okay, that's why we write the relation, which includes this pair also, A, D, right? And we have already included that edge here in the digraph. So writing this relation matters a lot. It should be correct while writing the relation. Okay. So this is all about partial orders as well as Hayes diagram. So in the next video presentation, you will look into the concept of upper bounds, lower bound, and also minimal element, least element. So these are nothing but extremal elements in a poset. So in the next video session, you will look into something about extremal elements in a poset. And once this is done, this completes module 3. Thank you for patient listening.